Good morning, Brody. It's time to start your day. Sensory systems are used throughout the day, right from waking up. All stimuli around Brody is energy, which is transducted into electrical signals. Animal sensory systems convert different environmental stimuli, such as visible light, sound waves, and chemical molecules, into action potentials in the nervous system. This conversion is called sensory transduction and occurs in all sensory systems. Though before Brody fully starts his day, he's still tired after his full night's sleep and decides to lay down in his other bed for the next hour or so. Time for Brody to take his first walk of the day. For dogs, walking is all about seeing things, smelling things, and peeing on things. Brody's little nose does a lot. These dots represent odors, which are inhaled through the nostrils into the respiratory epithelium in the nasal passage, where air is preheated and cleaned, which then moves to the olfactory epithelium, where odor particles attach themselves to the receptors in the olfactory epithelium. The stimulated receptors send a signal to the olfactory bulb, which is a region of the brain. The initial chemical odors stimuli are interpreted. But there's another thing dogs sense to smell too, and that is pheromones. Pheromones are inhaled through a part of the mouth called the mouth of the vermonasal channel, located on the hard palate in the incisive duct, responsible for the uptake of pheromones. This then moves to the vermonasal organ, also known as Jacobson's organ. Its pheromone receptors detect pheromones. An impulse associated with the reception of pheromones is transmitted via sensory cells running from vermonasal organs to the olfactory bulb. In the brain, different areas analyze odors in detail and give them an emotional value. This process takes place in the amygdala. But why do dogs pee on things when they're on walks? One is territorial markings. Dogs have scent glands in their urinary tract, and when they pee, they're leaving behind a chemical message that says, "I was here," letting other dogs know where they are. They also do this for information sharing. Dog urine contains pheromones that convey things such like the dog's age, sex, health, and even mood. Other dogs sniff it to gather all this information. It's like reading a social media post.
Brody, guess what I need to do?
The nervous system controls voluntary and involuntary functions, including sensory processing and behavior. Dogs respond to commands in training due to neuroplasty, the ability of the brain to form new neurological connections. See how Brody is tilting his head here? This could be due to better hear. Tilting the head can help a dog adjust the position of its ears to pinpoint where a sound is coming from. But he could also be trying to understand us, as dogs are highly attuned to human connection. When they hear something intriguing, like a word they recognize or a tone, the tilt is a sign they are concentrating and trying to interpret what you're trying to say. Brody is using sensory processing to hear and see the command. Organ systems are working together to help Brody complete these commands. When Brody hears a command, his sensory neurons go off. This triggers action potentials in auditory sensory neurons. These action potentials then travel to the brain where synapses are. Each neuron may receive thousands of synaptic contacts from other neurons. The brain interprets these signals, which causes motor neurons to react. Muscles contract, and the dog performs the trick or command.
Now, I'm going to leave it. Okay, I'm going to leave that right there. You don't touch it. Okay, you leave it. Yes. Oh my goodness, such a good boy.
One of Brody's favorite activities is running over to the window to look and see what's going on outside. All organisms detect light using a photopigment, which is a biological pigment. Light photons enter through the dog's eyes into the cornea, which bends the light slightly through refraction. Light passes through the pupil, which is the black opening. The size of the pupil is controlled by the iris, which is the colored part of the eye, which adjusts to control how much light enters. These signals are then sent through the optic nerve, where the brain then interprets the image in the visual cortex. Light is focused onto the retina, which is a thin layer of cells on the back of the eye. This is where photoreceptors come in, which are either rods or cones. Rods are sensitive to low light and motion. Dogs have a lot of rods, which is why they see well in dim lights. Cones detect color and fine detail. Dogs have much fewer cones than humans, so they see fewer colors, mostly blues and yellows. If a dog's rods are suddenly exposed to a very bright light, like when it steps from a dark room into a light room or into sunlight outside, most of retinal gets activated all at once. This is called bleaching, where retinal is now all trans and detached from osmin, which is a photopigment that cannot respond to light temporarily. Within this, recovery is slow, which means the dog's night vision is impaired for a while after exposure to bright light. The dog's specific anatomy supports movement, jumping, and running. Both fast twitch and slow twist muscle fibers allow dogs to alternate between sprinting and endurance activities. Energy metabolism is important in the body. This is the sum of processes by which animals acquire energy. They channel energy into useful functions and dissipate energy from their bodies. Dogs rely on efficient cardiovascular and respiratory function during walks or play. Here, Brody just had a bath and he's doing his after bath time zoomies. This is also known as frenetic random activity periods. There is no specific reason to why dogs do this, but some scientists have thoughts to why, such as relief from stress, as bathing can be a stressful experience for some dogs, drying off as they instinctively shake and run to help dry off their fur more quickly, reclaiming their scent, because after a bath, dogs may feel the need to rub against furniture or the floor to restore their natural scent, or even excitement and happiness. After a long time of intense exercise, a dog can experience muscle fatigue, which is exercise-induced reduction in a muscle's ability to generate peak forces and maintain a power output.
It's dinner time.
Dogs are omnivores, but tend to have a carnivore-leaning digestion because they have a short GI tract and high stomach acidity. The process of feeding is obtaining and ingesting food. The structure of a food's feeding apparatus is important and needs to be targeted at foods that meet the nutritional needs. Here, my dad is adding some probiotics to Brody's dinner. Animals can synthesize the chemical components of their bodies from the chemical materials they collect from their environments. Proteins are the most important of such, as about half of the organic matter in a mammal is protein. Taste buds are organized in papillae. Different tastes are coordinated with different neurons. Salty and sour tastes are directed through ionotrophic receptors, which are direct and fast, while sweet, umami, and bitter are metabotrophic, which are indirect and slower. All these taste buds allow Brody to eat and enjoy his food, along with telling him if something doesn't taste good or shouldn't be ingested. Brody gets a chew toy while he is digesting what he just ate. Digestion is the breakdown of food molecules by enzyme action into smaller chemical components that Brody is capable of distributing to the tissues of its body. In dogs, digestion is extracellular, which means the breakdown of food happens outside of the cell in a digestive tract. The enzymes are secreted into the lumen, which is the hollow part of the stomach and intestines, where food is broken down to before the nutrients are absorbed into cells. After a long day filled with sensory activity, running around working those muscles, and eating and digestion, it has worn out little Brody, and he fell asleep before even making it to bed. Good night.